Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining John's Daily Dose today for our employee spotlight. It is Thursday, so if you notice, it is not a live video this time. That's all right. We still want you to interact, like, comment. Make sure that you show some love to Vanessa Rosas today, who we have for our employee spotlight. And you are the PM of what campaign?
Optum.
Okay. And tell us a little bit before we jump into a little bit more about Optum itself and kind of the growing of that campaign right now. Tell us a little bit about your RDI story.
So I started back in October of 2018. So I'm about to hit my 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
So I hadn't heard about RDI, didn't know anything about it. I knew Randy Cunningham from a previous job, and he told me that they were hiring for a soup for Scott and White at the time. So I applied and I got hired. So I completed training with those agents. I got on the phone so that I could, have a better understanding of the campaign.
Absolutely.
Completed all that, and then I was a soup on Scott and White. Once that campaign left, I transitioned over to Great Call, and I loved Great Call. I was like super into it. And then September of last year, when we got Optum, they're like, "You're moving to Optum." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess, cool." But I love it. It's been a great campaign. And RDI is a great place to work at, and that's like for real, right? It's not like where you're like, "Oh, everybody says it's great." No, it's really a great place to work at.
And you touched on two things that I think I want to dive into. Is you talked about being moved from Great Call, which you loved, to Optum, which you ended up loving as well. But it seemed kind of like, situation. If there are people out there that are watching and maybe they just got moved to a campaign, or maybe they're afraid of that, someday I'll get moved to another campaign without, a lot of notice or whatever, give a little bit of information about how that felt for you, what you went through, and then two, like any advice for folks that maybe have that fear, maybe they just got transferred over, things like that.
So I think at first why I felt a little bit of hesitation was because we have other soups that were also on Scott and White, and they had more of that background. So since I was the newer soup, I was like, I don't really feel like my healthcare background is enough compared to what they have.
Okay.
So that's why I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know. But I also didn't really know what Optum was going to be like. We knew it was open enrollment, but we didn't know exactly like the full details. So I was thinking it was going to be more like Scott and White, which was a little bit more intense, which dealt with pretty much everything, healthcare. But Optum for HCA is not like that. So I just went ahead and was like, okay, well, if Noemi thinks I can do it, then I can do it, and I'll go ahead and I'll do it.
Okay. So it took a lot of trust in your supervisor at the time, program manager. So guys, remember that, if you are being moved to another campaign, or maybe there's an opportunity that your manager is letting you know about, know that they're mentioning it to you because they see it as an opportunity. They see it as something that's good for you. So sometimes we got to trust those that lead us a little bit more than we trust our feelings or ourselves.
We do.
And then another thing that you mentioned is that RDI is genuinely a good company. So what do you think is different about RDI from other places that you've worked at?
So I feel like you're heard here. Like if they have something and you give them your opinion, they take it into consideration, right? It's not like, we're not going to pay attention to what you're asking. They actually take it into consideration, and they might do it depending on what it is that you're telling
some
them
things
about.
We can't.
Yeah, I know we can't do everything, but I feel like we do have a voice here. I'm also a part of Women Nation.
Oh, okay.
So I really, really love that, because where I was at before, we didn't have anything like that for women in the company. So this is my second time doing it, and I love it. I'm like, okay, this is great. Like, we have something for women here. It's not just like, there's women that work here, but no big deal. Like, we actually have something for us.
Yeah. We have a lot of ladies that are in leadership even, too. So it's really great to be able to celebrate you guys. We just recently brought up the BPN, right, the Black Professionals Network. So any of our affinity groups, we want to your point, make sure that people feel heard and make sure that people feel like they're given, a platform, resource, whatever it may be, to allow them to succeed. So I love that. And you just mentioned kind of the ability to be heard. And you've been able to even put that into practice in our training classes where people give feedback, we listen to that feedback, and we apply it however we possibly can. So remember that if you're in training, every Friday, either myself or Shannon will be coming by to see how are you doing. Make sure that you're honest, right, with us so that we can take that into consideration and pivot where we can, make changes, provide extra support, whatever it may be to make sure that you are set up for success. So love the RDI story, love the RDI way that you've been able to just kind of apply to Great Call when you've been in Great Call, apply to Scott White when you were part of that team, and now you are the program manager over Optum. So is this your first time kind of being over a program?
Yes.
And how do you like it? How are you managing? What do you think?
Before the ramp up, it was very, very smooth because we only had 2 small teams on Optum.
Okay.
But with the ramp up, it's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
Getting with Nikki and getting us staffed up and doing interviews and getting everything ready for the orientations, the client requesting for us to do everything 2 weeks prior to what we already had.
Yeah.
It's been a little crazy, but it does make the day go by way fast.
Yeah.
The weeks have gone by super fast too. So
right.
That's been good, but it has been a little hectic. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get through it, and just keep going. And hopefully the client loves us again this year, and we continue to keep them with us.
Absolutely. And a part of why we wanted to have Vanessa on is because of the fact that we're growing in Optum. It's going to be open enrollment period soon. U.S. Health is feeling the heat there as well. But tell us a little bit about Optum. What are we doing for Optum? And, what's going on with this next, fourth quarter ramp up?
So currently we have 2 smaller programs for Optum. We have the MBM group, and they do the prior authorizations for cancer support specialty drugs. And then we have the BRS group, which does the bariatric.
Okay.
So for that, members call in, they give us their height and weight, and we can tell them okay, yes, we can get you with someone to speak about bariatric, or we can just tell them that they don't meet the requirement.
Okay.
But for HCA, we're going to do open enrollment. So we'll do open enrollment for Walgreens, for FedEx, Cardinal Health, and UHG.
So that's all inbound, and what are the conversations we're having with
for open enrollment? It's a couple different things. You might have people calling, asking questions, because it's that time for them to change their insurance.
Sure.
But we also do a lot of setting up their primary care providers.
Okay.
So if they want to change, they're like, I don't want to go to that doctor, let's change it. We can do that for them. We do just different things that they might have questions on, just more general information, and helping out the members, where the other 2 lines that we have, one is just for providers only, and then the other one is members also as well. But we'll be focusing on their bigger clients, providing that white glove service to them. We did it last year and it went very well, so I'm hoping that this year is just going to go very well.
Yeah, just a bigger group.
Just a bigger group. They thought FedEx wasn't going to be that big, and it turns out that FedEx is probably going to be pretty big. So that's why our training's kind of changed up a little bit.
I see.
So we can get them in there as well.
Awesome. Well, exciting things to come for the organization, for Henderson, for Optum. So really excited, and I'm really happy that you were able to come sit down with me a little bit, share your RDI story. I do want to close with just a couple of fun questions that we always ask, just to see what type of fun info we can learn. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Freezing time.
Freezing time.
Do you remember the show from the 80s? Where the girl used to freeze time when she put her fingers together? She was half alien, half human?
No.
I would have loved to freeze time.
Okay, so freeze time.
Yes.
We've got. What about if you could be any animal? What would it be and why?
Oh, I don't know.
What is your spirit?
It's either an owl or a hippo.
Okay. So, I gotta know about the hippo. What's up with that?
I love hippos. Love hippos.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just think they're super cute. My husband thinks that they're terrifying.
Angry. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
More people die of hippo attacks than...
Also known as the river horse, this terrifying beast is responsible for killing more humans every year than any other beast in Africa.
Okay. So either a hippo or an owl. Got it. If you could rock one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
Like if you walked into a room and this song was going to play, what would it be?
You know what? You're not the first person to ask me this. That's just a really hard question for me because I love music so much.
Okay.
I can't just pick one song. That's so crazy. Oh my god.
Do you have a favorite artist?
I have a lot of favorite artists.
Uh-oh.
But I guess I'll go with Cold Speak by Islander.
Okay.
So they're not that well known, but
I was going to say, I got to look that one up.
yeah,
So.
that's who I'll go with.
All right. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Hopefully you've had a chance to learn a little bit more about one of our program managers here. We learned a lot about Cass last week. We're learning about Vanessa this week. So more to come with that. Make sure you like, comment, and throw some love Vanessa's way. Thank you for watching The Daily Dose, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.